have all the flavor and none of the bad stuff.
All right. Well, I'm skeptical, but let's see where are we starting.
All right, well, here we have a delicious black bean burger.
Okay.
That's made with only 7 ingredients, most of which I bet people have on hand at home.
Already.
Simple spices. The base is black beans.
Okay.
And some salsa, some breadcrumbs, and just some few simple spices. Combine those, and you have this delicious, beautiful burger that is saturated fat-free.
Okay.
And very high in fiber, which is a very important nutrient that helps fill you up, but also reduces risk of type 2 diabetes and helps stabilize blood sugar.
Okay.
So unlike the standard American burger
Bad examples here.
But you know, you've done a nice job making those not look super appetizing, so I appreciate that.
But this burger contains 0 fiber.
Okay.
Compared to the black bean burger with 20 grams of fiber in just one burger.
That's...
And these black beans here are also loaded with vitamin C and potassium, other nutrients not found.
Black beans, I feel like, are borderline like superfood, if you will. They're like they've got a lot of really good things going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Black beans and other legumes, types of beans, lentils, tofu, for example, are all foods that we encourage our patients to eat on a daily basis.
Some of it's a little bit of an acquired taste. You know, I never had a black bean burger, let me try it.
Right.
But what happens is, not only do your taste sort of evolve, but you discover, I need less medicine.
Right.
Not only is their diabetes getting better, but their cholesterol's going down, their weight's going down. And I can't tell you how many high fives we have around the room when people's erectile dysfunction goes away.
Really?
You heard me right. That's right.
And that's, you think, just the fiber and just getting rid of some of that extra fat?
What's happening is that in addition to what's happening in the cells, the arteries start reopening.
Gotcha.
And when you have better blood flow to your heart, your heart is healthier. When you have better blood flow to other parts of the anatomy, they work better too, if you get my drift.
Absolutely. So. Makes good sense to me. So, and now, so if you're going to make a black bean burger, are there tips and tricks to make it a tasty one? I mean, obviously it's not going to be like ground beef, but what can you do to really add some of the kick?
Yeah, well, I'm a working mom. I have 3 kids, so I find these burgers to be a big hit in our family.
With the kids too?
With the kids, absolutely.
Especially the kids.
Yeah,
they
especially,
really love it.
They do love black bean or other types of vegetarian burgers. And they're super simple because beans are a staple that you can have on hand. You don't have to worry about them going bad.
They're cans and cans on them. Yeah,
and they cost pennies compared to the price.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting some ground beef or turkey, whatever it would be.
Yeah, so just flavoring them with different spices. We use cumin today, a little bit of salt and pepper, but you could certainly, you know, throw in some fresh herbs.
Now, do you need
spices.
a food processor to do something like that, or can you get away with mashing them?
We did use a food processor for the burgers you see here today, but you could definitely use a potato masher and really mash the beans.
Any other foods up here we want to make sure we focus on? Anything in particular?
I would offer a tip, if I may. When you're going through the fast food, you know, the choice is everything. If you go to the submarine sandwich place, they'll say, what kind of meat, what kind of cheese? You say, skip the meat and cheese. Just load it up with the lettuce and tomato and cucumbers and spinach and a little red wine vinegar. And it's veggie, but it's delicious and it's healthy.
Right, and it's still filling. I mean,
it's still filling. Or the taco place, skip the meat taco, have the bean burrito, hold the cheese. That's vegan, but who knew?
This is so interesting because basically all my life I've always thought, oh, I've been eating way too much sugar. My parents told me when I was growing up, you eat way too much sugar, you got to watch out. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been really enlightening. We're going to have more Let's Talk Live coming up right after the break, so stay with us.
We see you.
We don't hear you though.
No.
Mr. Sally, you need to unmute. Okay.
Well, that was the interesting information I found that up to that point, up to I found that film, I always think that diabetics is because you have too much sugar. And this doctor said, no, it's not the case. So now I can go back to my favorite white bread.
Yay.
Well, I don't know about that.
But anyway, I still like a Diet Coke better than regular Coke. For some reason, I just, I want to eat a lot of food, but I don't want to put this sweet taste in my mouth. But anyway, so that was a little presentation. Now let's welcome our chef. I'm going to pin Yvonne, you're on the spotlight. Please take
Hi,
it.
Yvonne.
Hi.
Looking good. What are you fixing us today?
So today I'm going to make a artichoke bruschetta with asparagus over rice linguine noodles.
Oh
So it's
my
going to be
God.
very
Whoa.
yummy. And this is a recipe I modified. I used to do it with seafood, and so I just omit the seafood. And I haven't made it for a while, but it's so delicious. And there's a little thing I want to share with you is I use this, and it's an artichoke bruschetta, and it's pre-done. And I get it at the grocery outlet, but you can find it, I'm sure, at Safeway or Oliver's, and it'd be in the condiment aisle. And it's already pre-done for you. So this is a nice base. And then another ingredient is the artichoke hearts. And these aren't marinated. There's not vinegar in there. They're in a water base. So there's no spices or any extra flavoring in them. So it's just the artichoke hearts. Because you're gonna get your flavoring from the onions, garlic, and the artichoke bruschetta. And I always like to do some capers in it. Just kind of gives it a nice little flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I've already pre-cut my ingredients so we'd have time for the video. And I love the idea when he showed us the artichoke risotto. And so I took the tips and put them aside in a separate bowl. So that way, when I finish the dish, I can just add them and warm them and then put them into the mixture. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get here so you can see my pan. Where's my cameraman? So I'm going to get the water boiling. And I do need a little salt, so I'm going to just do a little dash of salt and get it boiling. And actually, I need to use this burner. Okay. And I'm going to get this burner on a medium. And again, I'm going to use some avocado oil. It's got a nice high heat temperature, so it gets up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. And so this is a nice one to cook with because it doesn't smoke as much. And again, the avocados are wonderful because they're the non-saturated oil. Okay, so I'll let this pan get kind of warmed up. I like cooking in my cast iron. This actually I got from my dad, this pan. It's a family heirloom. Okay, so I've got, this is, I did a little head of garlic, and I don't want to add all this garlic. So I'm just going to add a teaspoon into the pan. And then I did, with the onions, I julienned them because I wanted that shape. I didn't want cubed. And so I'm going to add about half this bowl because this is a medium onion and I'm not making a big batch of it. I'm just going to try and make closer to 1 serving because I kind of overcook. This comes from being from a big family. So I'll get some onions in here. We're going to let them get translucent and just, sweat them a bit to get the bitter and the sharpness of the flavor out. I'm having some fun trying different oils to cook with. Okay. My wooden and spoon. So we're just going to get these till they're translucent. And these are the noodles that I'm going to be using. And they're really nice. You can make pad thai with them, or you could, just use these noodles for a lot of different recipes. So I've got already the asparagus. It's all cut into like little, like 1/2-inch little spike. And then I'm also going to add some zucchini that I cubed up. I love zucchini. And then I took the artichoke hearts and then I cut them into quarters. So they're julienne too. So they'll be nice and easy to eat off the plate. Okay, so these are all translucent now. So I'm going to go ahead and add the zucchini. And I can see I should have added half because I'm already going to I'm going to take some out. Otherwise I'll have more of a zucchini dish. So I would say add half a large zucchini, and that's all you need for this because I put in too much. Okay. And then we'll just let that saute for a bit. Turn my temperature down a bit. I've got too much water in here. Okay. Okay, and now I'm going to add a whole stalk of asparagus. And we're just going to let it cook in. Now this is a dish, if you like, if you can add a little bit of a dry white wine and then let the dry white wine just cook down to get the alcohol sharpness out. Or I have some vegetable stock if I decide to add, if it might need a little bit more moisture. These vegetables don't have a lot of liquid in them, not like, how cauliflower and broccoli have a lot of liquid. Whereas these don't have as much liquid inside the vegetable. And now we're just going to let that cook. I'm going to go ahead and put a little cover over my water to see if it can start boiling sooner. There's stuff going. We got
because the
draft.
Yeah, the draft from the flame. Well, now you don't have a lid.
I don't. All my lids disappeared when I moved. So that's the thing with moving. So this is all nice, cooking very nicely and softening up. And see, the onions are really nice and translucent.
I see.
And even the asparagus is starting to get some translucency to it. It's not so harsh white.
If I don't have asparagus, can I use green peas?
Use what?
Green peas.
Yes, you can. The reason I use asparagus is because the foundation of my meal is the asparagus bruschetta. But you could use the green peas too.
Because my husband does not like asparagus. So I want to replace it with something.
Well, he doesn't know how to live.
He said asparagus, it gives him some kind of weird smell when it comes out.
Yes, asparagus.
Oh, that's it. Yep.
When you pee.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
It's real green.
Does not like
green.
that.
It's cleaning all that out and making it.
Tell him it's healthy.
Exactly. We're so averse to talking about our body functions, but you know what? What goes in here comes out the other side, and we want to have a soft, smooth, delicate, easy transition
Right.
as it flows through our body and reinvigorates every cell and enlivens our spirit and our quality of life. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and make sure I didn't forget anything. I'm going to go ahead and add my bruschetta. And so you see it comes in like a little paste. And this is great. You can use for to make a artichoke dip. And so I'm going to put a couple spoonfuls, probably about 4 spoonfuls in. And I'm kind of thinking I don't have enough liquid, so I just want to add a little bit of the vegetable broth. I'm kind of concerned this has a little bit of flavor in it, but it's not so much. But it does need some moisture in it to help it cook, and that's why a little bit of like a nice dry white wine is nice in here, because it just has a very complementary flavor with the green vegetables and the bruschetta. And if you're not a drinker, you can just get those little tiny bottles of the wine, so you just have enough for, you know, your cooking. Okay, so that looks really nice right now with just a little bit of liquid in there. It just helps to get those artichokes and zucchini softened up. And it kind of creates a little bit more of a sauce. So my water's boiling now. So I have a nice handful. Usually go, this is about a serving and a half. So that's a good way to measure your noodles. I just drop them in there, and they take about, I think, 3 to 4 minutes to cook. They cook pretty fast. So this is actually a pretty nice quick meal. So now that I got those boiling, I'm going to go ahead and add in the artichoke hearts that were canned.
Is that a whole can of those?
No, this is actually, this is just a half a can.
Okay.
And I drained the liquid, so I just used the half a can. So the can's like, you know, to here. And then I can put these in a container and keep them for later. Let's let these move around a bit.
It truly does look delicious.
Oh my gosh, doesn't it though? I love the green colors. And so now, you know, these have a little bit of purple in them, in the tips. really pretty.
Oh, we saved the tips for later, huh?
Yeah, because I didn't want him to get too mushed out. I loved when he did the risotto and he added them at the very end. I just thought, oh, I like that. So
Those will be nice and crunchy, and I love the tips.
so I'm just going to add the tips in now because the noodles are almost done because they're just like, you know, very quick to boil. It's just getting the water boiled. So if you can see the noodles, they're just about done. I think they're still a little too hard, so they need maybe another minute. And I'm just gonna stir them, keep them all separated in there. Stir this.
Can you show us your bag of noodles again?
Yes, it's called A Taste of Thai Rice Noodles, and these are linguine style.
Okay, you can get those anywhere, or do you have to get them at a Chinese store? Or
These ones I got at Food Max in the Asian aisle.
okay, Food Max. Okay.
If you can't find the linguine, you can always do these little noodles.
Saffron.
And these are like, these come in like a little package like that.
Okay.
Just put the package in the bottom of a bowl and pour your liquid over it and let the liquid absorb into the noodles. You don't necessarily even have to put them in. A lot of times when I make a brothy soup, I'll throw the noodles in just to the broth. And that works out really, really nicely. Okay. Oop. Get another noodle. So my noodle is al dente. Still a little bit too hard when I bite it. Do the spaghetti throw against the wall. It does stick. I've always wanted to do that.
No, not me.
But of course I have to
want to do
my
that.
house. So the sticking against the wall doesn't really count with linguine because it was still a little too hard. So it's just going to be a moment or two and it's going to be done. And, you know, for garnishing, what I'm going to do is I have a little lemon I've been saving. And I'm just going to spritz the top of it with a little bit of lemon just to brighten the flavor up. You can also do a little bit of your grated mozzarella cheese if you want cheese on it, but I don't think that it's as necessary with this meal. But I love the vegan cheese. Oh my gosh, that was like one of the best days ever when I discovered vegan cheese. So now you can see how this is cooking quite nicely. It's developed a little bit of a broth in it and so it's really good to add a little bit of the vegetable stock. Otherwise it'd be too dry and I could actually burn or scorch the sauce. So that just is a kind of a nice.
I found a very good brand for vegan cheese.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave for about 2 seconds to get the brand. I will show everybody.
Okay. Oh, now my noodles are perfect now.
Okay, go ahead and finish up. And then this cheese, this brand is called Vio Life, 100% vegan. And they make really good, a big chunk of Parmesan. So I can grate it. It's very hard, they make it very well. I can grate it to pizza or spaghetti dishes. And they also make it very good a mozzarella cheese, and it does stretch and melt. So I'm gonna show everybody. Can you see this? The Violife.
Oh, yum.
This is a cream cheese cheddar. My husband thinks it's very weird. Cream cheese with cheddar flavor, but I like it. But anyway, but it's can you see Violife?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This is really a great brand. And unfortunately, there's a one or two brands I really don't like. One is Daiya cheese. I think it has a really too strong a flavor. I just don't like it. But this is a great brand, especially we're talking about if you still like cheese and you don't want to sacrifice the flavor, but you don't want to get saturated fat to get your diabetes going, then you can really replace this. So do it again. You see, round. Violife. I strongly recommend their chunk of Parmesan cheese. Really good.
That would be perfect on this dish, a chunk of Parmesan.
Ah, okay.
Definitely. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead. I've got my noodles in my bowl, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put this on top. And then, you know, get my
Wow.
little artichoke hearts on there, the tips. So we've got artichoke hearts and artichoke tips and a little zucchini and garlic. It makes a lovely little meal. And I'm going to take my lemon. I don't know if you can, oh yeah, you can see me.
Yeah,
now.
we can see.
And I'm just going to spritz a couple little drops of lemon juice on it. And voila, we have
Oh, it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It is
I
very
can't wait to
good.
make it.
Me
That looks
too.
good.
I
Thank
have to
you.
make that tonight. I'm so
I
hungry
don't
for it
know
now.
what to do with the artichoke. We Chinese just don't use a lot of artichoke, but it always look very tempting. It just
Yes.
look like a great vegetable. And thank you so much for sharing with us.
Yes, thank you.
right. You just boil them. And actually, if you drink the water that you boil from the artichokes, I worked with a gal in a salon years ago, and she had some, I think they were Vietnamese roommates, and they would boil the artichokes, give her the artichokes, and drink and use the water for their base for their soups and their different other dishes. And so you just take the artichoke, you peel it, and you just dip it in a little mayonnaise and bite.
Yum, that's good. Mayonnaise and artichokes.
I'm just gonna buy cans. Thank you
Oh,
so
you
much,
can. It's
Yvonne.
good.
Yummy.
Thank you so much, Yvonne.
Thank
Thank
you. That
you.
was great. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Well, I
Thank you.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, enjoy
Okay,
everybody.
thank
See
you.
everybody next week. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.